Hey everyone, and welcome to your mini quickie training for this week. And one of the things I want to talk about this week is challenges. Actually, the thing that I want to talk this week is challenges. So a lot of you are participating in my current challenge, which is amazing. And I really just want to share with you some pointers, some tips, how I go about doing the challenges, because obviously it is a trend now to host challenges, and I notice a lot of people do them wrong. So I want to share with you guys my best tips and the ways that you can do them right in case you are thinking about doing a challenge, or maybe you've done a challenge and you didn't really get that great of results. I want to give you some tips on maybe why that was. And I really just want you guys to succeed. I want you guys to, learn from me as much as possible. I want to give you that behind the scenes, high level overview of everything that I'm doing so that you can be successful as well. So first things first, what's a challenge? Many of you have seen them. Many of you have participated. Maybe some of you have even hosted your own challenge. But essentially what it is 5 to 7 days. I actually like the 5-day format, even though mine is 7 days, just because I have so much content. 5 to 7 day event, I guess you can say, where each day your audience is going to get a prompt from you to do something specific. It's an amazing way to just engage with your audience. It's a great way to get people involved, people answering questions. Another thing I love challenges for is for the market research. The market research you will get out of hosting a challenge is like no other. It's amazing that when I go into my challenge group, I actually have people telling me exactly what they want. I have people telling me exactly what their struggles are. I have people telling me exactly what they're looking for. And now I can use that information to market, to sell to them, to put in an email, to do a live stream about. So one of the things I love about the challenges is not only helping them, right, but it's also helping me to really understand what my audience wants and understand what my audience needs. And that's really the point of hosting a challenge. The other thing is, like, a challenge can totally replace a webinar, or a 4-part video series or any other launch method can be replaced by a challenge. So if you're introverted, if you don't like webinars, challenges are the way to go. I actually like them better than webinars because I feel like webinars, you're just speaking at people, whereas a challenge, you're interactive, you're engaged, you can comment on their stuff, you can see what they're posting, you can like, and you can actually just really, really get in touch with your audience, and people love that. It's high touch. You're giving them tons of value, but it also feels good for you. Now, one of the caveats when you're running a challenge is that you want to make sure that you don't give too much away, right? And what I mean by this is not that you're not giving them value, but it's that you aren't, giving them so much that they get this like Superman syndrome, and they feel like they can go and just take it and run with it and do it themselves. Like, obviously there will be people who are like that, but what you really want to do with a challenge, and this is where I see a lot of people go wrong, is you basically want to create another problem with your challenge. So you want to have that step 1 or the step 0, that's something that you want them to do over that 5 days. But when they're done that 5 days, yes, they have a result. Yes, they've gotten a breakthrough, but now presents another problem. Where do I go next? What's next? What happens now? And your program or your service or whatever it is that you're offering will fill that question of what's next. So I'll give you just a quick example because I know a lot of you are participating in my challenge. Is for me to say, okay, I'm helping people find their brilliance and their edge and figure out, really what the big picture is. But at the end of the challenge, and you'll see as we progress, you will see that there's another problem. Now they know all this stuff. They have amazing clarity, but how do they now get in front of the right people? How do they market themselves? How do they sell? How do they create a program that now their audience wants? So, yes, they're going to have amazing clarity and they're going to get something, but now creates another problem. And I want you to think about that when you're thinking about creating your own challenge. What can you do that gives them just enough that, whets their appetite for what you want or what you want them to do next, but doesn't give away the farm. So that's totally number one thing that I see people do wrong in their challenges, is that they give they give it all away, and so there is no reason for them to take that next step. There's no reason for them to buy from you. So don't make that mistake. The second mistake is not actually having a strategy behind the launch. We just think, I'm going to do this launch, and at the end of the launch, I'm going to pitch my services, and everybody's going to buy. But there actually has to be more nurturing involved. So having an email sequence after your challenge, connecting with people throughout the challenge to make sure that they continue with it, offering some kind of implementation workshop or webinar or something to bring it all together, maybe doing some Q&As in your group. So it's not enough just to do the challenge and expect people to buy. We still have to nurture them. We still have to lead them to taking that next step with us. So that's the second mistake I see a lot of people do, is they use the challenge as something singular, as like this one thing that's going to get them there, but there is still a lot of back end involved. And I do have another class in LB3 about, actually how to run the challenge. But right now I'm just giving you more of a high level overview and some of my best tips for running a really great challenge. The other thing is use of the hashtags, getting people involved, right? Giving them something that they can actually share with the group if you decide to have a Facebook group with your challenge. I recommend it highly because that's where you're going to be able to engage with your people. That's where you're going to be able to get the market research. But, actually giving them prompts that they can post in the group. What I see sometimes in challenges that I do is that it might be too personal. It might not be something that I want to share, or it's too complicated to share. So people just don't end up doing it. Like if I were to say, hey, everybody put their income from last month in the Facebook group, 9 out of 10 people probably aren't going to do it because there's some kind of guilt, shame, or whatever around it. So just make sure that whatever prompts you're giving them are something that they can be super excited about and that they actually want to share, because the more engagement, the more sharing, you're not only creating a great space for them, but like you're building a little community. And for those of you who are not in my challenge, I definitely go over and you can just type in Captivate Your Audience Facebook group and get in there and see what kind of amazingness is happening. And we're just on day 3 out of 7. So what are some other tips for challenges? Some other tips for you guys is just be involved, be engaged. So if you're running the challenge, make sure that you're in there commenting, you're liking people's statuses, you are doing Q&As. It's not enough to just send an email and be done with it. You really want to be active and engaged. Another thing is keep it short. So these ones I'm doing videos, a little bit longer, 10 minutes, but they're not 30-minute videos or 45-minute videos. It's small, digestible chunks of information that people can actually do. The idea is not to just overwhelm them with information, but give them enough so that they can take action. And you want them to take action all the way through. All of those days, all 5 days, all 7 days, whatever it is. So you don't want people to automatically look at number 1 and say, oh, this is just way too overwhelming. It's way too much. I'm not doing it, right? So you don't want that. So don't overwhelm them with the content. Give them just enough to take action and to get a result, and you will have a successful challenge. So what I want to do is I want to open up, especially because the challenge is going on right now. I want you guys to post in the comments below, what questions do you have for me around the challenge? Do you have a specific challenge that you're thinking of running and you want to know if it's a good idea or not? Post that in the comments. I want to see what you guys have going on there. And I just, like I said, I just think it's such a great way, replacement for kind of the old, old school, tried and true 4-day video series or webinars or even ebooks, right? The challenge is such a great way to just get involved and engaged with your audience. So I love it. Let's open up the discussion. Post your comments below. I will answer any questions you have, in general about challenges, or specifically about how I'm running this challenge and why I'm doing it differently than I have in the past. And just so you know, I've done it all. I've tried it all. I've been running challenges since March of 2014. That's 3 years. 3 years I've been running challenges, and they're just getting more popular, and there's a reason for it, because they're amazing and they work and they're just awesome. So let's have a discussion. Let's talk about challenges. This is something obviously that fires me up, that I'm super lit up about. So whatever questions you have, I want to answer them. I will talk to you guys soon. Ciao.